We made it! As you can see, I still haven't gotten my painting done, but congratulations on getting past the midterm exam last week. I say we made it because, yeah, it was a lot of work for you, but trust me, all those papers and essays you've been writing, I've been having fun looking at those. In all reality, you guys have been doing a great job. I've been making jokes about it all semester so far about how you're giving me more work, but that's a good thing. Keep it up. Because now we're going into Module 3. To me, probably one of the most important modules we do because it really defines who we are as Americans today. And it starts in this really kind of dark chapter of Chapter 23, the Great Depression. Of course, when we look at the Great Depression and how it grows out of the 1920s, there's several things that we're really kind of focused on. One of course, is the causes. While we all know the Great Depression is usually marked with the stock market crash, there's a lot of things that go into that. In other words, the stock market crash is more of a symptom than an actual cause. We're seeing underlying weaknesses that we have talked about since the beginning of our class. Inequality, limiting the amount of consumer spending, issues in the agricultural sector that will eventually lead to bad crop yields and even help lead right into this thing called the Dust Bowl. And the list goes on and on. This is what's really important for you to understand, and it's really just that first slide of Chapter 23. And then as we get into the Great Depression, we realize the massive impact it has on all of the American people as individuals, far beyond just economics. It shakes up the entire society and culture of the United States. And really, that's what the discussion group is that we have to look at. It's asking you to do something very simple, which is just to post how you think, one thing you think is impacting the American people during the Great Depression. And then we're going to put it all together and see how the New Deal under President Franklin Delano Roosevelt is trying to address those issues. So remember to go ahead and just post that one thing. It's a relatively easy week. But with that said, the slideshow, Chapter 23, is so important because, as you know, this Great Depression is not only going to be in the United States, but it's going to spread around the world. And the impact of it is going to exacerbate a lot of those problems we saw in Europe and help lead to the rise of these totalitarian governments who feel that democracy and capitalism have failed them. Yes, we'll see the strengthening of the communist system in Russia and the Soviet Union, but we'll also see the rise of fascism in Germany, Italy, and in Imperial Japan, where the decision is basically made developing a nationalistic, militaristic sort of government with no real sense of representation is the most efficient way to end a Great Depression. And while they're not completely wrong, it of course has a lot of underlying problems all of its own that are going to lead us directly into World War II. A war that is one of those strange moments in American history where we're actually looking at something where the United States is locked in a military confrontation to basically decide what the future of the world will be. Will we become increasingly focused on totalitarianism and a lack of democracy, or will we try to find ways for democracy and capitalism to morph and to adapt to the new economic environment and continue to survive? But that's for another day. Don't forget, like I said, make sure you're watching that slideshow for Chapter 23. You're doing that Chapter 23 discussion group. If you want to look ahead to Chapter 24, feel free. There are 2 reflections. I'm sorry about that, but there's a lot going on in Chapter 24, World War II. Also, don't forget to go ahead and do a weekly bonus journal. I've really been enjoying those for those of you who've been doing them, seeing what it is that's going on in these chapters that's interesting you, and of course, taking that and really hopefully getting you to connect better to the material. Anyway, have a good week, and we will see you again next. I forgot something really important. Oh, that's going to slow this whole video down. Don't forget, this week is the actual midterm. In other words, we took our exam. All your grades have posted for our class last week so that you can make that important decision whether you want to withdraw from this or any other class by October 5th. If you do that, you can get a W in the class that avoids it being an F. Not that that won't affect your financial aid and you won't get credit for the class, but it is something for classes that you feel like you have no chance in that you might want to talk about with your advisor before October 5th. Okay, sorry about that. This was supposed to be a short video, but I remembered that little public service announcement. Have a great day, and we'll see y'all again next week.